Hi, my name's Hugh. I work at Wadham College, which is part of the University of Oxford, and welcome to this Wadham project launch session. I am the tutor for access at Wadham College, which means I'm responsible for working with schools in various bits of the country. So welcome to you, whichever school you're from, and wherever you're joining us in this session. What I'm going to do is talk you through what you've signed up for, or what your teachers have signed you up for, and what you can expect for the programme for this year and next year. So a little bit about the college. So the University of Oxford is made up of 38 different colleges, and Wadham is one of those. So we were founded in about 1610. So to give you a frame of reference there, Shakespeare's just died. Someone's trying to blow up the Houses of Parliament. We're pretty old, okay? But actually, amongst the other Oxford colleges, we're kind of somewhere in the middle. So the University of Oxford is very old. So there are some colleges that are far older than us, and there are some that are quite modern. We have about 450 undergraduate students with us, so that's a fancy way of saying people who've come and are doing their first university degree with us. And at the college, we teach about 34 different subjects. And that's something that we'll talk about as we go through the programme. Now, I mentioned that I work with various schools. I work with schools that are in 7 London boroughs, but more relevant for you, I also work with schools in Bedford and Bedfordshire and Luton. The programme that we're running and that you're taking part in, the Wadham project, is me as part of the University of Oxford, but particularly for those of you who are joining us in schools in Bedford and Bedfordshire, there are some really helpful teachers behind the scenes who help everything run smoothly. So we've got those schools there. So we've got Redbourne, Queensbury, Sam Witt, Biddenham, Mark Rutherford and Bedford Academy. So if you're joining us from Bedford or Bedfordshire, your teacher will have a contact with one of those teachers alongside me. If you're joining us from Luton, you've got a contact in your school, and it's me who does all of the work kind of moving between the schools. But I wanted to make you aware that this is a project that runs through the University of Oxford, but runs successfully because of teachers helping out along the way as well. Now, I'm going to try my best to refer to everything that we say as the Wadham project. Now, previously, for schools in Bedford and Bedfordshire, we had the Bedfordshire project, and for schools in Luton, we had the Luton project. You can see I wasn't very imaginative in naming these programmes. For this year, for fairly obvious reasons, everything's going to be online, but the result of that is we're going to put those two programmes into one project. So you'll hear me talk about the Wadham project, and the content for those is going to be the same whether you're a student in Luton or a student in Bedford and Bedfordshire. Yeah. So the programme works with you in year 10, but also in year 11. And in year 10, what you're going to be doing is taking part in a series of online seminar sessions. So that's a fancy way of saying some discussion topics that you'll do in your schools in smaller groups than you're used to. There'll be some other sessions which are all about thinking about university and some things that you might want to be thinking about if you're making that decision about whether to apply to university, or what subjects you might want to do, or various decision making about your next steps. You've got a visit, so obviously that's in inverted commas because that will change based on the government guidance and the situation, but hopefully it'd be brilliant to get you in person to come and visit the university. But if that's just not possible, we'll think of creative alternatives. And the other thing to say is this is a programme that supports you in year 11 as well. So it runs with you for the next couple of years. Now, I wouldn't be a teacher if I didn't talk about the aims of the programme. So what do we hope that you get out of it? So the first one there is kind of that you get a sense of the benefits of going to university. Now, obviously, I'm biased in this as I work for a university, but I really hope that over the programme you get a good sense of what university is and what the benefits of going might be. The programme isn't to say you have to go to university, but I hope that you leave the programme with more understanding of what universities are, what they do, and what you should be thinking about to make empowered decisions about your future. The next thing has got some fancy words in. So supercurricular and supracurricular, that's a fancy way of saying we hope that the sessions that you take part in teach you stuff which helps you at school where you are now, but also that the learning that you'll do is outside of the normal curriculum, so the normal day-to-day things you're learning in your lessons. So it might be subjects that are new to you, but it also might be different parts of the courses that you already learn. Okay. The other aims are that the different learning styles at university is something that you'll be more aware of by the end of the programme. So you may be aware that the way that universities teach is different to how you learn at school, and hopefully that will come through as we do the programme. But the last two are really important as well, that taking part in this develops your academic skills that would help you for university, but also help you right now where you are. And lastly, one of the nicest bits of feedback we get is that pupils feel empowered by being on the programme, that they get more confident in articulating what they think about something and speaking and analysing in their own way. In year 10 of the programme, that's going to be broken down into a series of pre-recorded videos which will look at different academic subjects. So I've got there the headings of STEM, basically a way of saying science subjects, and arts, humanities, the other stuff. Okay, so you'll do some sessions that will give you a sense of what learning at university is like. So we've got sessions on genetics, the history of art, law, psychology, all of those subjects, giving you a flavour of the breadth of things that you can study at university. There'll be some questions in those sessions, and there'll be some group activities as well to get you thinking and talking. And that's going to obviously be a little bit different this year, so that's going to be within your schools, but we'll find a way to feed back what you're saying in your sessions, and so you can hear what other schools have said with the same content. And lastly there, we've got a few of our students in the picture. One of the real hopes of the programme is you get to hear what university is like from the people who are studying there right now. They'll be able to communicate what it's like studying their subjects and what skills they have to use, but also that you'll hear them reflect on what was going through their head in year 10 and year 11. At the end of year 10, I'll ask you to pick a book as a bit of a well done from the very short introduction series, so that can be on anything that you want, just something that interests you. I will ask you to do a bit of a project around that book though, to get you really thinking and applying some of the skills you've learned throughout the year 10 programme. In year 11, I understand your GCSEs will take over a little bit, so the sessions will be less frequent, but what the focus of those will be on is help for you in terms of studying for your GCSEs and identifying your next steps. So thinking about A-levels for many of you, or you might be thinking about alternative qualifications. And also I'm aware for some of you that'll mean leaving your secondary school and going to a different place for sixth form. So we'll give you support throughout the programme to try and help you with the year 11 and doing that year successfully. Finally, and I know that's a kind of inverted commas finally, the programme would normally end with a residential at the college. Obviously, that is the aspiration at this point, and as the programme and the national picture develops, we'll be able to see whether that's going to be possible, but really hope at the end of year 11, once your GCSEs are out of the way, we'll be able to invite you to come and stay at the college so you can live like a student and see what that's like with our students as well. The hope is that after you finish the Wadham project with us in year 10 and 11, that the support from the university doesn't end there. In the sixth form, I'm sure you're aware there's lots of important decisions to make and lots of ways that you can get involved with Oxford University, but also other universities. But in sixth form, your participation or tie-in with the day-to-day access work that I do with sixth formers in the college and the wider university. So there'll be opportunities to get involved with the university through things like summer schools. So at Oxford, that's called UNIQ. Wadham, we also run summer schools, and the perk of that is I get to decide who comes on those programmes. So students who've come through Wadham project will get preferential treatment for them. And then there's an also, I've put this as a possible, because it's possible at this stage, that the University of Cambridge will be offering a programme similar to the Wadham project, but specifically targeted at sixth formers. So by the time you're there, obviously that's a few years away, the hope would be that you'll leave support from Oxford and then get support for Cambridge in your later years. Just to wrap up then, I think the first and most valuable thing that I hope you take away from this video is welcome. Your teachers have picked you to take part in this programme because they think you have the potential to come and study at a university, not any university, some of the best universities in the country. Okay, so well done and welcome. I'm really looking forward to working with you over the year. The other thing to say is kind of something that will sound cheesy, but I'm going to say it anyway. I really hope that you enjoy the experience and embrace the opportunities that you're given. So there'll be times on the programme where you'll do things that you'll really enjoy and will really energise you. There'll also be times when you do something that might not seem quite so fun, but I am asking you to do all of those things for a reason. So I really hope that you enjoy the experience, but also embrace the opportunity and keep going if it gets tough. If you ever need to get in touch with me, you've got my email address there, so access@wadham.ox.ac.uk. Email me about the programme, about anything else to do with university. I'm always happy to answer your questions. I've just done lots of personal statement support for students who were on the programme a few years ago, so my door is always open. Please do get in touch. And also there's a website there. I'm not going to read out that because it's really far too long. But there'll be a website where all of the resources that we cover over the Wadham programme will be available. But please do get in touch with me or the teacher in your school, and they'll be able to help with any questions you might have. So welcome, looking forward to working with you.